Welcome back. Steve here, Soggy Bottom Farm. The wife gave me a shaft. It's a leg to a bread rack. Missing a male end. I got to get a 1/4 inch close nipple. Then I think I can jam them together and make them work, but I don't feel like messing with her stuff. It's been a rainy day, on and off all day, inside, outside, inside, outside. But I'm going to use you to motivate me. I think I've accumulated enough of my junk hoard around here that we can make some progress on something I alluded to in a previous video. I talked about a project where I had flat tires on my lawnmowers all the time, and that I was going to it insinuated the video that I was going to mount this compressor head onto the leaf blower lawn vacuum attachment I made from an old Lord Murray lawnmower. And if you're in the mood for it, stick around for a few minutes and we'll mount this head to the lawnmower attachment. Show you how I go about doing it. Maybe you can learn something, use something for one of your projects. So thanks for the help. Hang on. The first thing that I did was go through all this junk I got laying around here. Bunch of old belts, because I'm going to need a belt. I laid that compressor head up here on this attachment and I moved it around, checking the alignment with this pulley I plan on using. And I decided on doing this. I'm going to hang that thing off the side over here and kind of balance this fella out a little bit. He sticks way out here and the weight is kind of favoring this side. That's why this tire is going flat. Well, plus it has a slow leak. This one is flat every time I need to use the mower. It holds air for a couple days, but it keeps going flat. I took measurements of the footprint on this head. Then I ran around looking for pieces of metal, ways of hanging this. This is more of the Murray lawnmower. That's a hunk. That's the Onan generator housing, what's left of it. I'm going to pick one of these pieces of metal, use this old hinge, and mount this head right here. Let's get busy. We're also going to need to come up with a form of a pulley right here. I don't have one real small, but I'll show you how I'm going to do this. Give you an idea of what size you might need when you're just experimenting and building a prototype. We're going to have to mount that thing straight, so we need to cut ourselves some clearance in this back bracket here that used to be the trailer ball. This is the back end of the mower where the trailer attachment was. I got to cut some clearance right here. I already drilled a couple holes. Now I'm going to cut with a grinder, a cutoff wheel, and make me a channel right there for the belt to go through. When you make your marks on anything really, if you get them in the wrong spot and you don't really like the way the end product is going to be, like this one here, I'm going to take the line. I'm going to cut it off right on top of the line. And over here, I'm going to make sure I don't cut the line. That should get us pretty close to being on center. You can do it wrong, but if you do it pretty after you've done it wrong, nobody will even see the wrong. So do a good job when you're working on something. Okay, we cut ourselves a little channel in there. Now we got the belt and the pulley clearing that bracket. What do you say we take this old hinge, mount it on the outside of this, underneath of this head. After we mount that head to some piece of metal we pick up around here, whatever matches the footprint, we'll bolt it onto this hinge and then we'll bolt the hinge onto this lawnmower body. Let's see how it goes. Hang on. I'm going to use this chunk of leftover Onan generator metal. You'll see why. Hang on. Okay, we got that head mounted. I know this looks funny, but I felt like there was more meat in the metal behind it, so I put it crooked like that. There's a belt. Wow. Going through our little hole over here to this pulley. I made this pulley out of a stack of washers. Let me get this belt off of here. Wow. I started up the lawnmower's PTO, and then with the grinder, I ground a pulley into that stack of washers. So you can experiment that way. Just rough it in. I know I need a tiny pulley. But anyways, let me get this back on here. Put you down for a minute. Okay. Anyways, I started this thing up. I cheated. I didn't wait for you. Well, I still have to put a handle on here for tensioning this belt. There's a couple of problems I've run into I didn't foresee ahead of time. I'll explain them here in a minute. But I started this up. I had a hose hooked to it. And I aired up that front tire. The problem was when I let go of the hose and I stopped filling it up, the pressure in the head built up, that this stopped spinning, causing the shaft, which is actually rotating like this in that direction, the tension on the pulley unspun the bolt that was stacking all my washers. So that's problem one. I tried to solve that by getting this safety relief valve. I took that thing off the side of this little air compressor right here, and I got it off of that paint sprayer. So I thought, I'll take this pressure relief right here and see if I can adjust it so that I can get the head to run instead of spinning the pulley off of the shaft. And this thing is adjustable if you get one of these things. This thing, I don't know what it was set at, but this is great. We can never overinflate the tires if we have a safety device like this. But there's a tiny little bolt in here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me see. In this one right here, there's a tiny little bolt inside of there. That's how I adjusted it. Put it back in there, and now I can run the lawnmower, and the head doesn't load up to the point of unthreading the pulley. Anyways, the point of all this is I'm going to go out here and I'm going to start it up, and we're going to air up this tire like I promised you. Some of the improvements we're going to have to make are going to have to wait till Friday. So hang on, let's go air up the tire. I forgot to tell you how I went from, shoot, I can't air the tire up today, to finally being able to video me airing up the tire. I got it aired up the first time by inviting my wife outside to put some tension on the belt. But there's no way you're going to be sitting here looking at my wife while I show this video. So I was going to shove this piece of rubber in between the head while I could walk over to the tire. And in looking for this rubber, I ran across this right here with a T. Now I can put the hose in it and this pressure relief, and I'll wedge this down in here, and you don't get to look at my wife's butt. I had to reconfigure this found air line here, and I gotta tell you, It took both them pipe wrenches to break that T off of that nipple. Kudos to whoever put that thing together. Okay, we're out at the mower. Got the hose hooked up to the head. Got my little safety relief valve plugged in there, so we ought to be able to start this up. I got to get a spring on here so that when I start it, the head tension is already off. Anyways, part of making the handle and stuff. So we got the thing, we got a flat tire. Let me get this belt tensioner on. You're just gonna have to tolerate some noise and some movement. Hang on, I'll start the mower. Thanks for tolerating that noise. Okay, I had to come back in here and get a socket to adjust that safety relief. It was set so low it wouldn't inflate the tire. So I kept adjusting it. Finally, I got it to where I could get enough air in the tire and, inflate the tire. But I got to get a regulator. I'm probably going to have to come up with some kind of a receiver. I might use this thing here when it gets empty. I only need to store a little bit, enough to hold the air in one tire. But I'm kind of done for the day. I'm going to continue on Friday. So if you want to come back Friday, check out the next video. I'm going to make some more improvements. But come on back. I promise you this. I'm going to show you my wife's nipple. Steve out.